Very recently, the singles chart has become very reminiscent of the charts of around 3 or 4 years ago, in the sense that the action at the top has begun chopping and changing, with the number one position departing from having the same face dominate for weeks on end to having constant change occurring. At this current time, we've had 11 different number one hits, which was the exact number of songs that went to number one last year. So whilst we're out of this flux of one artist suffocating the top spot due to the recent changes in how the singles are tracked, we should expect more and more songs to be free from this stranglehold. We've had 4 songs go to number one in the last 8 weeks, with the most recent of these coming from the returning Sam Smith, whose current track, Too Good at Goodbyes, his lead single off of his yet unreleased sophomore album, recently celebrated its 3rd week at the top spot and is his 6th song to go to number one. Whilst I do see myself as a fan of Smith, I am aware of the divisiveness of fans over Smith as an artist, and I can see their point to a degree. Having had time to mull over Smith's work a lot more, I can see why his at times overuse of falsetto can become a little annoying, his lack of diction at points does make it troubling to understand what he's saying, and his foothold in orchestral pop can become rather insipid at points. I can see why many gravitate towards his electronic collaborations with the likes of Disclosure and Naughty Boy, as they do come across as more appealing to the mainstream. But this wasn't going to deter me from checking out his newest release, and to be honest, whilst not terrible, this song isn't anywhere near his best, yet it does come complete with what Smith does well. I like the fact that Smith focuses more on a lower register, keeping his voice more low key and not halfway between that and his piercing falsetto, allowing more emotional resonance and fragility against the strings, piano and choir arrangement, percussion and brief spurts from the electric guitar. In fact, I'd say the lack of falsetto and Smith's restraint on going over the top plays to this song's advantage. Lyrically, the song deals with Smith's reluctance in getting close to someone for fear of being left broken as a result. Verse 1 sees Smith opening up about having experience of being left devastated in the past, leading into the bridge where Smith expresses his apprehension of getting close to this person, which is further exemplified in the pre-chorus of negative emotions felt by Smith because of what the other has put him through, before going into the chorus, which is the song's titled Repeated. The second verse shows Smith sympathising with the other half, highlighting that although he may come off as uncaring, he believes that he's protecting his quote innocence, which does irk me somewhat since the song doesn't bring into the equation the other person in question and how they feel, and Smith would rather cut things off immediately rather than talk to this person and try and work things through. And as for this innocence thing and the line protecting my soul, coming from the same guy whose previous album had a song which encouraged someone to break up with their current flame only to get with Smith, Sam, don't try and pull on the heartstrings here, because that's not gonna fly with me. Overall, whilst I do have a few issues with this song, this hasn't stopped me from being intrigued as to what Smith has to offer with his upcoming album. Whilst it is nice to hear Sam move away from the soul and R&B sounds from his last offering, I would like to hear more electronic sounds from him, more of his lower range deliveries, and perhaps more solid, believable and consistent lyrics. Nevertheless, I got what I wanted from Smith: good delivery, emotional pull for the most part, and a solid track all things considered.